covering 70% of the globe's surface. Oceans are critical for the planet's survival. They produce most of the oxygen we breathe, absorb excess heat, and feed millions. But they're in bad shape and are only getting worse. With the problems far outpacing the solutions, nations are facing pressure to adopt tougher stances on overfishing, pollution, and marine protection. The rate at which oceans are warming has nearly doubled in the last 20 years. The average surface temperature of the oceans broke records in 2023 and 2024, and remains at historic highs in 2025.
All of the global warming pollution is crowded into it. The accumulated amount today traps as much heat as 750,000 first-generation atomic bombs exploding every single day, 365 days a year. That is why the oceans are getting so hot.
Marine heat waves have become longer and more intense. Warmer seas can make storms more violent and can be devastating for species, especially corals and seagrass. Between 70 and 90% of corals are expected to disappear this century if the world reaches 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming compared to pre-industrial levels. Warm water takes up more space than cold water. In the case of the oceans, this thermal expansion, combined with slow but irreversible melting of the world's ice caps and mountain glaciers, is making sea levels rise. In February 2025, the combined sea ice around both the North and South poles reached a record low. Globally, sea levels have risen 10 centimeters in a little over 3 decades. Around 230 million people worldwide live less than a meter above sea level, vulnerable to increasing threats from floods and storms. The oceans not only store heat, they've also absorbed 20 to 30% of carbon dioxide emissions created by humans since the 1980s. This has caused waters to become more acidic. Ocean acidification weakens corals and makes it harder for shellfish, the skeletons of crustaceans, and certain plankton to calcify. Another growing danger for the world's oceans is pollution, namely plastic pollution. The world produces around 400 million tons of plastic waste each year. An estimated 11 million tons ends up in oceans, rivers, and lakes, the equivalent of one garbage truck of plastic per minute.
You've never seen plastics a meter thick within the sand. In just 6 days of cleanup, we collected our first 25 tons, which is a record breaking for us.
Ocean warming, acidification, and pollution are already posing significant challenges, but oceans are also facing threats from overfishing. Seafood provides essential nutrition for over 3 billion people worldwide. But growing global consumption and damaging fishing practices like bottom trawling threaten marine life and biodiversity.
The deep sea cannot become the Wild West. We live in an age of turmoil, but the resolve I see here gives me hope. Hope that we can turn the tide, that we can move from plunder to protection, from exclusion to equity, from short-term exploitation to long-term stewardship.
The increasingly dire state of the oceans is front and center at the 3rd UN Ocean Conference, which kicked off on the 9th of June in Nice, France. The high-level talks are taking place against a backdrop of wider geopolitical tensions. Anxiety is growing over Trump's unilateral push to fast-track deep-sea mining in international waters.
Et je le dis ici avec force, les abysses ne sont pas à vendre. Et pas plus que le Groenland n'est à prendre. Pas plus que l'Antarctique ou la haute mer ne sont à vendre. Pas plus que les licences de pêche des pays en développement ne sont à donner. Nous parlons d'un bien commun. Nous parlons d'une œuvre qui nous engage tous.
Wealthy nations have faced pressure to commit money to make ocean conservation a reality. In Nice, the EU pledged €1 billion in funding for ocean projects.
We will strive to cut plastic and nutrient pollution by half within 5 years. This can be reached. We should make this effort, my friends.
A major focus of the conference has been to ratify the High Seas Treaty that aims to protect 60% of the world's oceans that fall outside of national jurisdiction. While it has gained momentum, it's still shy of the number required for its enactment. Just 8% of the world's oceans are designated as a marine protected area, and even less is considered truly conserved. Hundreds of countries have committed to protect 30% of the world's oceans by 2030, but Greenpeace says at this rate, it could take another 82 years to reach that goal.